Hey guys, my name's Ben Howard. I'm back out here at Holston Creek to play the Blues to get ready for the Hub City Amateur Championships. If you haven't seen my previous two practice rounds in this series, I appreciate if you went back and watched them. But we are currently 9 over going into this round, which isn't where I want to be. If and you would know that if you've seen the previous videos, obviously. But and I don't think that's going to be a bad score. Like if anything, I think 9 over would put me probably in the middle of the pack, maybe in the lower 50% of the tournament. But I've been trying to figure out what I think the scores might be going into Holston, but it's just so hard to tell. Like Tiger, I can kind of figure out. I have a pretty good idea, but Pipeline, I have no idea. And out here, I do think you'll need to shoot under par to win out here, but I'm not expecting anything more than like 2 or 3 under at the most. I could see somebody getting hot and shooting 6 or 7, but I would assume the hot round out here would maybe be like 3 or 4 under. And I'm capable of shooting rounds like that. I mean, if you've seen my attempt at shooting 1 under out here on the blue layout, I did it on my first attempt, and I was 3 under going into the last hole, which I ended up taking a double bogey on, but still very doable for me. So just need to get out here, figure out the game plan. But before we get into the round, I do want to talk about some pretty exciting news. Well, it's not really news to me because I knew about this since before I even started the series, but Vern, he reached out to me about being on the featured card, which obviously I said yes to. I would assume it might be like a month after the tournament, the coverage might come out, but I'll have a link to his channel down in the description. So make sure y'all go check him out because he does a ton of really great tournament coverage in the area. But a big thank you to Vern for putting me on lead card. I never would have thought about being on lead card at any tournament. So I'm sure it'll be a ton of fun. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So let's go and get in the round and see how we do. All right, guys, for hole one, we've got a par 5, 722 feet. Off the tee, we're just trying to get around this tree and around the corner you can kind of see up here. Once you get around that corner, you've got about a 400-foot dead straight tunnel shot into the green. Off the tee, I like to go over this tree with something fast, try and get it to push straight for a while, and then have an overstable finish at the end. The closer you get to this back wall of trees you can see in front of us, the more open that second shot is down to the tunnel. So I want to go with something fast, something that's not super overstable. So I'm going to go with I'm thinking the Shepherd, but I also got the slingshot because I want to try it too. I think I'll go with the Shepherd as my main shot. Just trying to hit a little bit of hyzer right over the top of this tree. I think that's the exact shape I want, but I think it's a little short. So yeah, we'll try the slingshot real quick. This one I need to hit on a little bit of hyzer, but same exact line pretty much. It should get me around that corner and get me the distance I want. Oh yeah, yeah. That's the push I want. Oh, did I hit something? Oh, that was weird. Okay, so here's where the slingshot ended up, and this is what the lie looked like from where the Shepherd was, and you can see why I wanted to end up here. And I'm gonna take this shot. This is the only hole I'm gonna take my second shot on as my main shot, just because I want to practice this lie because I don't really ever get over here that much. Let's see. I'm just gonna figure out what I want to throw. Like I said on the tee, I really don't need to try and penetrate down there and get into the green, but throwing something fast and kind of understable feels right. So I think I'm going to step up, go with the arc, my Oasis arc, because I could pretty much just throw it flat and just trust it to turn, hopefully kind of flatten out near the end. Yeah, that's great. Oh, well, I had to say something. Dang it. We'll be fine. Should be good. A little short, but that's fine. There we go. All right, guys, for hole two, we got a par 5, 995 feet. Off the tee, we just need to get it out this gap and as far up the hill as we can. From there, we want our second shot to either land on top of the hill, or you could kind of crest the hill, but it's not a great idea. And then from there, hopefully we'll have manageable up and down into the green. But a par on this hole is going to feel like a birdie, and a bogey is going to feel like a par. Looks like we got a left to right crosswind, so I'm going to stable up, go with the shepherd. But typically, I would want to go with the slingshot here. But really, all I'm trying to focus on is just getting through this gap and trying to get as close to this low ceiling as I can. Oh, at least I can get that back. Wow. All right, let's try that again. I'm going to count that. This is just going to be a re-tee. There we go. Not as high up the hill as I would have liked, but that's fine. It's a lot better than my first shot. Oh, I actually got it to turn. Nice. Okay, so in the tournament, I'll have to make sure to step up to a distance driver because I'd like to get past the bike path, but this isn't a bad spot. It's mostly just annoying because this is going to be a blind shot, and I think we're like 450 feet from the basket. I'm tempted to try something with the ambush, but I'm going to go with the slingshot. Try and throw it on like a little bit of anhyzer out to the left, or really just at the trees on the left, and just get this to turn over, hold over, and never come out. No! Kick out somehow. Oh, it did. There we go. That worked out. So from there, I'll probably have like 350-ish foot approach shot to the green. So I'm actually pretty lucky that I did what I did, because if I would have thrown the shot like I meant to, I would have turned over too early and still been in the woods on the right. Or, I mean, would like to think hopefully get a kick back up the middle like this, but especially with this crosswind coming through, it's still left to right. I definitely shouldn't have done that. I should have just laid up to here and just played for what would be a par if I didn't hit first available. But not really too sure what I want to throw, but I'm going to go with the Glow Rapture here. Just try and throw it a little to the right of the basket. Or just early release it. Skip somehow. This is the problem with this course, is anytime I'm not confident in a shot, my miss is typically an early release. And you can't be off at all in this course. I need to be confident in every shot. I'm gonna throw one more with the shepherd. This one I'm gonna go straighter at the basket. I didn't mean to throw it that high. Go in. Whew. There we go. Okay, so I found a blue warship out here. I left it on top of the basket, so it's yours. Come get it. But let's go ahead and throw this in. Save. This is 7, I think. Come on, go. Oh, rang. All right, guys, for hole 3, got a par 3, 270 feet. Basket's up this hill, tucked off to the left. The two plays I like for this one is either like a beat up, overstable mid range, or a flex shot with the really overstable fairway driver. I'll probably go with the mid range. Oh no, we still got wind, so I'll throw the mid range second, and let's try the fairway driver first. No. I threw that like it was an understable fairway driver and thought it would hold the turn. I think it's not going to hold the turn at all. That's not going to come back in time. I'll probably go with that though, because that's just outside the circle probably. So I'm going to give myself a chance, and it's a much simpler shot shape than what I'm trying to do with those fairway drivers. So actually, I got one more. Why didn't I think about throwing that one? Oh, that might be why. It's like 50 feet past the basket. But that one will give me the shape I want if I just throw it flat. So I might actually go with that one. Oh, dang it. Okay, so I looked, both the redemption and that last arc I threw were about 25 feet from the basket. Only difference was the arc was a little long, but it wasn't even at the tree line yet. So I'm thinking I'll go with that. I don't think it matters. So it'll probably just be like this. If it's windy, I'll go with the arc. But I might stick with the redemption, go with something a little bit slower, so that way I'm not bringing that back wall of trees into play. Stay up. Nope. All right, guys, for hole 4, got a par 4, 482 feet. Off the tee, we got to throw something either into this gap or lay up to this gap you can see in front of us. From there, we're bending off to the right and going downhill, where the fairway kind of snakes back and forth, but the basket's ultimately on like the left side. So my plan for this one is just throw a putter or overstable mid-range into the gap, or just lay up to the gap and then throw a shot down into the green. Got an Oasis Waymaker and an OT Samson. I'm thinking the Waymaker is the one I want to throw first, because we got a tailwind, so that should help push it a little bit. It doesn't help if you really release it. Hopefully that's high enough and got far enough left. I'll be on the side of the hill, but I'll have a chance to go for the birdie. Let's see. That's how I need to throw the Waymaker. You need to throw that a little bit lower. Okay, so the Waymaker did get through all that tall grass, thank goodness. But from here, I've got to throw more of a S-ing shot. Probably going to go with the mid-range, I think. I'll go with the Gyra. Just try and throw it flat. Hopefully get to turn a little bit going down this hill. And just see where it ends up. I keep doing that. Oh, I turned like I wanted to do too. I gotta be confident. I can't go into these shots being a little weenie. Okay, I got y'all set up, so hopefully you can see my shot come in. I gotta throw some kind of forehand roller from in here. Hopefully get it to cut back to the left and penetrate down into the green. Oh my gosh. If I go either side of that tree, that's perfect. I square it. Okay. That's a putt. Oh, I got a piece of it. Man. All right, guys, for hole 5, we got a par 5, 727 feet. Off the tee, you need to throw a hyzer over the swamp. Have it finishes pretty far left, not crazy far. You kind of have to get lucky near the end because there are some trees that are kind of sprinkled throughout the fairway. But if you get clean all the way through there, you might have a chance to get up and down for an eagle. If not, it'll probably just be a chip shot up to the top of the hill and then throw like a putter the rest of the way down to the green. This is a hole I really want to get a birdie on, so let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to go with my less stable Oasis Rapture. Try and throw it on a little bit of hyzer, see how it does. I might step up to something or go down to something a little bit less stable, but we'll see. Oh, dang it. So close. Just don't hit that tree. Okay, we can work with that. I still short armed it because I was scared, but I might have got a good roll actually. Gotta be a little bit more careful with my placement shot next time, but I'm trying to decide if I want to run this or just lay it up because there's nothing behind the basket. And I don't think I can. I don't even know if I can get a putter there with the stance. So I'm gonna just lay it up. So that means we've gotten a birdie, a par, a bogey, double bogey, and a triple bogey, all in these first 5 holes. All I'm missing is an eagle. Could get a scorecard infinity gauntlet. All right, guys. Now we're on hole 6. This is the new tee pad for hole 6, a new blue tee pad for hole 6. I don't even know if it's in UDisc yet, but I think it's about a 500-foot par 4 off the tee. We got to go through this gap, get something to land just short of the pond, and then from there we've got like a 300-foot to 250-foot water carry into the green. I want to go with something slow and straight, just so that we don't really bring the water into play too much. So I'm going to go with either one of my covenants, and then we might try the Northern Waymaker just to see how that does. Nope. That's close. Just got to get it out to the right a little more. That's better. I was hoping it would flip a little bit. Okay. Try the Waymaker flat through there. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Nice. I didn't think being early left would be this bad, but man. Dang, still short. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting up and down from here. Even if I didn't have this tree right in my way, I've got limbs that are hanging down, so I'm just gonna have to pitch up. Ooh, good little roll. Now I'm kind of annoyed that I threw that arc there, because that would have been the perfect distance for that disc. We'll go with a little bit less stable arc. Let this turn a little bit and crash in. Okay. Oh, dang it. I guess if I take a quad bogey, that still counts as me getting the infinity gauntlet of scores. But I don't feel like taking I don't think my score can handle that. All right, guys, for hole 7, we got a par 4, 482 feet. The basket's down here tucked off to the right. Off the tee, you want to just get through this gap and finish off to the left. That way it kind of opens up that second shot into the green, because you're probably going to have to throw some kind of forehand approach shot that's got to go through a fairly tight wooded tunnel, but as long as you throw the tee shot well, you're pretty much guaranteed like a par at worst. But a birdie's pretty simple. It's just getting out of this gap is the main thing. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to throw my flat top arc. I didn't early release it. Yes! Oh, that's a great skip too. Okay, so a little bit farther back than I was thinking I was, because if I'm another 30 feet farther forward, I can actually throw like a backhand down into the gap. But from back here, pretty much got to go with the forehand. Let me go with the chain breaker. Just flat, trying to throw it right to the left side and let this thing just dump off to the right. That should be great. Okay, so my forehand ended up a little short and a little too far right, but this isn't that bad at all, especially considering I'm in here with the Bradford pairs. Just have to do a little bit of a staggered stance. Nothing crazy. Get there. Whew, there we go. Nice. All right, guys, for hole 8, we got a par 3, 320 feet. You see the basket straight ahead. Biggest thing to pay attention to is we got this pond you see off to the right. It's actually a lot closer to the basket than you would think. Granted, the water is down, so it might actually not be in the way at all. But as you can also tell, a good chunk of the fairway is sloping towards the out of bounds. So while it looks like the wide hyzer is a good play, it does bring in the water. And granted, we do have a head right to left wind, which would be a pretty good wind for that. I don't feel comfortable, especially because this tee pad's so small. It's not small, it's just for something like that, you want to be able to throw as hard as you can. And I don't feel confident doing it on this tee pad. So I'm going to go with fairway driver, just straight up the middle, straight at the basket. I'm going to go with my NT arc because I think in this wind it might turn a little bit more, but definitely want to go with the arc and try and go a little bit long at this basket because there's a good amount of bushes and stuff behind it that should slow you down if you do manage to go long. Oh boy. Hit something, please. Oh, I actually made it to the grass along with the water. I don't know if that's going to be in bounds or not during the tournament, but I don't know. We'll see. Get there. Oh, man. All right, guys, for hole 9, we got a par 5, 732 feet. We're pretty much just going straight the whole way into the basket. Like, if you stand in the right spot, you probably could see the basket from here. But fairway's about this wide the whole way, and it kind of snakes back and forth, as you can tell. But off the tee, I want to throw something at this tree on the left. Have it bend off of it, kind of flatten out, push straight near the end. If I throw that shot well, I can almost cut the hole in half. From there, I'll have to kind of pitch around another corner and then hopefully have a pretty simple up and down for the birdie. That all depends on how well I throw this tee shot, just like every other hole on this course. So I'm going to go with the Oasis arc straight at that tree, get to turn off of it. Oh, it's too low. Okay, it's in the middle though. I can still pitch around the corner from there. That'd actually be kind of nice because I actually have to throw like a full shot from there. Come on, fade. Dang it. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's so low. Oh, that's gonna suck. Ugh. All right. Well, I went ahead and just pitched up off camera because I figured y'all wouldn't want to see that, and didn't do the best job. I do have a chance to get up and down, but odds are we're just gonna be taking a. Oh gosh, what's this gonna be? Yeah, I just recently started playing chess, and that move right there is what I do a lot of times where it's like I step up, I'm like, I feel, yeah, this seems like a good idea. As long as I do this and this feels fine. And then as soon as I go to make the move or as soon as I go to throw, it's like, why did I do that? That was so stupid. I've been early releasing all these shots today because of a lack of confidence. And now I'm going to go try and hit a 4-foot gap that if I miss, I'm going to take like a 7 on this hole, which actually I'm going to take a 7 on this hole if I don't get up and down from here. So that's the first real dumb move that I've made today. Which everything else, which is nice to know, because everything else has just either been a lack of confidence in my shot or a bad disc choice. So it's good, but it's also annoying that I'm shouldn't be making mistakes like that. Go. Push, 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 push. Okay. Well, apparently I said push one or two too many times. I didn't think this thing would go this far, but oh well. Golly, I can't even see the basket from here. I'm gonna have to do a little hyzer stall putt. Nope. Ooh. Alright, guys. Just now noticed my mic was off, so sorry about that. Luckily, that isn't the most complicated hole on the course, so hopefully you were able to understand how I'm going to play that hole. It's probably for the best, too, that it cut it out because I was pretty mad after that tee shot. But we are on hole 11 now. This one is a par 5, 625 feet. Off the tee, you just need to throw something as straight as you can, get as far down the fairway as you can. If you'd rather end up anywhere, you'd rather end up on the left side because that kind of opens up the second shot, which is typically going to be like a forehand because you're probably going to have a low ceiling. But after that forehand, you'll probably have a 100-foot approach shot into the green for a birdie. So this one can be very simple, just like the rest of the holes on this course. You've got to have a good tee shot in order to get anywhere. So I'm going to go with my pink Oasis Rapture. I'm expecting this to turn a little bit as long as I get the nose down, but if anything, I just want like a little bit of an S curve at this finish off to the left. Hey, kick out in the middle. There we go. I didn't early release at that time either. I just pulled the crap out of it. Things starting to turn a little bit more on me than I'm expecting it to. I keep finding discs out here. I just found a elevation or evolution edition tactic. Got a bunch of mud on it, no name or number. So this is yours. I'm gonna leave it on the basket out here. But from here, I think it's just gonna be a forehand. I think I'm gonna go chain breaker. I think if I go with the Rapture or anything like that, it's gonna go too far. Granted, I do have to do kind of a standstill. Yeah, I'll step up to my flat top arc. I think that'll be better. It should have a overstable finish, but should give me a little bit more push. It's inside. Ugh, that didn't sound good. There we go. All right, guys, for hole 12, got a par 3, 315 feet. Basket's down here tucked off to the right. You pretty much have to throw a forehand on this one. I'm going to go with my less stable Rapture. Just trying to hit it hard, flat. Let the disc do the work. Hopefully get down a good skip angle will get me out to the right. But as long as I get out of the gap, I'm going to be perfectly happy. Oh, man. I got some good power into that. Nope. Oh, wow. She caught it. All right, well, luckily I stayed far enough out to where I can just do a patent pending. Still going to be a tough shot to get up and down, but there's a chance. Just got to go inside of these two trees that are in the fairway. Okay. It didn't cut roll, so that should be a putt. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, guys, for hole 13, got a par 3, 365 feet. Basket's down here tucked off to the left. I'm going to go with the overstable distance driver. Just try and throw it flat through the gap, let it filter off to the left. Only thing that keeps this hole from being a pretty easy hole is the fact that the basket's up on a hill, kind of, or the ground kind of gradually goes up once you get through the gap. The only way you can really get into the green or into the circle would be getting all the way down there and then getting a pretty big skip. And in this grass, you're not getting any kind of skips, really. So best I can do is probably like edge of circle 1, and it'll be like an uphill putt, so it'll play like a 35, 38 foot putt, something like that. But I'll take a par on this hole every day, and especially during this round. I will take any par I can get. So let's go ahead and get down there. Get past that. Okay, that's fine. We can work with that. Go, 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 go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Good skip. All right, I don't know how long I've been looking, but I can't find the first Glow Rapture that I threw over here. It's weird. I can see it all the way on camera, but I can see which Bradford pairs it hits, but I can't find it anywhere. So if anybody finds it, I'll give you $25 if you get it back to me. I'm gonna go with my Domi arc. Just trying to throw it flat. Not really concerned about getting up and down from here. Just getting distance and getting an easy bogey, or yeah, an easy bogey. Come on, hurry! Oh my gosh, it's so close. Whew. That thing always turns a little bit more than I think it's going to. Just a little bit. Perfect. Oh, I missed that for a second. All right, guys, for 15, got a par 4, 588 feet. Basket is dead straight ahead, tucked in the tree line in front of us. But the biggest thing to pay attention to is all tall grass is out of bounds. It's a left to right wind, which isn't that bad, because all I really need to do is just throw a hyzer and get something close to those fences. This is where I would have liked to have thrown my less stable Rapture, but I'm going to go with my more stable Rapture. Just trying to hug the right side OB line. Let this disc come back to the left. At least that disc can handle some anhyzer. I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay, that dug in the ground. That's pretty good. Okay, I thought we were going to be right up on that net, but we're actually a little bit farther back, so I can go with a shot over top of it. Shouldn't be too hard. I think I'll need to go with, I'm thinking my beat-in Covenant. Try and throw it flat over the top of it. I probably could throw my Glow Oasis one, but I think this one will at least give me a little bit of right movement, which is something I'm going to need on this shot. I'd rather end up on the right side of the green than the left side. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Ooh, bad kick, but hopefully that didn't kick out of bounds. All right, so the OB line is the tall grass. So I don't know. That is so difficult to tell. I'm gonna say it's in bounds because I don't see how you could say it is out of bounds without a definitive line, and it's just that close. But y'all let me know what you think. Too high. All right, guys, for hole 16, we've got a par 4, about 500 feet. Basket's up here, tucked way off to the left. Off the tee, really need to throw something at this tree. You see they just cut the limbs off of, have it fade off of it, and then hopefully you're close enough to where you can either go like a spike hyzer into the green or some kind of skip shot into the green. For bigger arms, you can just go hyzer over that tree and have it fade in pretty late. And like I watched some pros play at one time and they had jump putts in the green. So like if you can throw that huge hyzer, it's definitely there, but I don't have that unfortunately. But I'll go with my flat top arc. I think I can just throw it flat straight at that tree. I might throw it, yeah, I'll throw it flat straight at that tree. See what it does. That should be perfect, I think. Okay, so I ended up in a pretty good spot. A little farther left than I would like, but this is still fine. It seems like I have a little bit of a headwind, so I think I'm gonna have to go for the skip shot. So I'm gonna go with my, well, now it's just my only Oasis Rapture on some hyzer at this tree on the right. Hopefully get a fade off of it. Get a big skip. This should skip even in this grass. So let's see what we can do. Even if I don't get the skip though, it'll give me like a circle 2 look. No skip. Oh, if I give that a little bit more Annie. Man. All right, guys, for hole 17, we got a par 5, 658 feet. Basket's up here, tucked off to the left. Once again, all tall grass is out of bounds, but you can, this is an eagleable hole, but you could also just as easily take a double bogey on this one. For the eagle play, you need to go out to the right with a distance driver that'll flip a little bit, but have an overstable finish. But to play for the birdie, go for a forehand out to the left, get to crash in, throw a chip shot from there around the corner, throw another chip shot into the green. And that's what I'm going to be doing because I really don't feel like going for an eagle today, especially with how I've been playing. Granted, could I mess up the birdie play? Yes, but let's not think about that now. I'm going to go with my Oasis Rapture. Just try and throw it flat, high, let it crash off to the right, and then I'll probably throw it again on the second shot. Let's see. A little farther left than I meant to throw it, but that's not bad at all. That's so bad already. That's what I was worried about doing. I had to put it in the middle of the gap, but instead I tried to like hyzer flip it through the gap. Pulled that a little bit. Let's get over. I don't remember where the OB line is, but that might be OB. Okay, so I don't remember how they played the OB around the green. I know sometimes they've played like this whole ring around the basket is out of bounds. Now sometimes it's just been like the front isn't out of bounds, but the OB line will come behind and go along these ridges right here. But I think I'm just going to stick to what I said on the tee pad, which is tall grass, which would barely keep me in bounds. Oh, man. All right, guys, just made it to hole 18. Final hole of the video. Woo. Oh, man. I always forget how rough rounds out here can be, but let's go ahead and finish strong. Get birdie on the last hole. This one's par 3, 350 feet. Basket straight ahead across this pond. For some reason, this plays farther. I feel like, I don't know. We do have, I guess it's a tailwind kind of, so that should help. Typically, I would like to throw my less stable Oasis Rapture here, but we're going to try the Shepherd on this one. I think I can just throw it flat in this tailwind and it'll get across. That's the main thing on this one. It's just throwing something you know will go across. Like 350, I should be able to get an arc across as well, but no, we're not doing that. Get over that. Get over that. Okay. Go in the basket, please. Oh, oh man, that would have been a nice way to finish that. Yes. There we go. Whew. All right, guys, that finished up our final practice round. Get ready for the Hub City Amateur Championships. I wish it could have gone better. Granted, going back and doing the scorecard really showed me that it was really just the front nine that messed me up pretty bad. The back nine I played okay. That's just kind of how this course is. It feels very front loaded where you're going to run into majority of the most difficult holes right out the gate. But I really do just think the tee shot on hole 2 just shook my confidence, because I've never been that bad about being confident with my drives, especially out here. Like, this is one of my favorite courses. This layout is probably my favorite course, but I don't know. I just could not feel confident off the tee, even though I would like psych myself up, get myself ready. As soon as I would get ready to start my run up, all my confidence would leave my body, and then half the time I just early released it, or who knows where it was going to go. And you could tell it was a mental thing, because a lot of my second shots right after I threw a horrible drive would be either exactly what I wanted or majority of the time much better. So I definitely think I'm going to need another practice round out here, or at least just a practice round on the front 9. But I went through and looked at all the scorecards I kept on UDisc for all my rounds, and I was pretty surprised to see that I actually kept a pretty consistent putting percentage. With all of them, I stayed at 60%, which that's okay. I'd rather it be a little bit higher, but I mean, anything above 50% is always going to be good for me. Driving, if anything, was probably my worst stat. That stayed in about the 60% range, or maybe I think one of them might have got up to 70%. But after playing some practice rounds at these courses and feeling more confident, hopefully I'll be able to get those percentages up as well. But overall, I end up 20 over, which isn't going to cut it. And I'll be curious to see where everything ends up, because I do think, because these courses are hard enough to where even MA1 players are going to struggle out here. You're not going to have somebody run away with this, or at least I don't think so. There'll probably be some 16-year-old homeschooler that just plays disc golf and will destroy us all in this, I'm sure. But I feel like a good goal for myself is going to be beating 10 over for the whole tournament. I think it's very doable, and with some improvements, that's going to be. I feel like it should be pretty easy, honestly. I'll tell you what, we'll do a giveaway for this one for all y'all that actually made it to the end of the video. Whoever is the closest guess to my score for the tournament, and if there's multiple people that gets it right, I'll do a tiebreaker, or like I'll probably just pick one y'all randomly. But whoever that person is, I'll send you a $25 Goliath Discs gift card. Only rule is you have to put in your guess before I tee off at Tiger. A big thank you to Vern for getting me on lead card. That's going to be a ton of fun, I'm sure. If y'all want to watch the coverage, I'll make sure to link it or post that when it comes out. But thank y'all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and y'all have a good one.